Live 90.5 called the Australian Spectrum Show. It's been going for over 14 and a half years. I'm on the 700 and something episode of the show, and we're on Norwest Sydney from Walkham Hills. We're community radio, of course, and we stream online, and this year we started podcasting, and I've just had over 27,000 people listen to the podcast of my show. So I'm very pleased with that. In fact, over 1,000 in the US, same with UK, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and a whole string of other, even non-English speaking country, people have been listening to the podcast. And it's just been great. Like I had Chris Turner on recently, and there's a whole heap of people interested in listening to the podcast of that show. Well, anyway, that's who I am. I'm also, look, it's a very special night. And of course, with our Australian blues scene, a lot of the people, we have marvellous talent here. A lot of people go unrecognised and unsung heroes, and their stories never get told until, Pauline has put together this wonderful book. And so we welcome Pauline and her husband Dave. It's a bit like Dave's of our lives, because we've got Dave Tice, Sally King's husband Dave Green, and of course Pauline's husband Dave. So we're having a Days of Our Lives episode tonight. But anyway, Pauline Bailey has been working on this marvellous series, and of course now volume 4 is out. Actually, I have some statistics. There's 172 musicians and artists who have been featured in the 4 volumes so far. It's 1,464 pages across 4 volumes, and that's not counting the prefaces. And it's a tremendous effort. In our volume 1, for some of the Sydney people who have been recognised so far, in volume 1, Rob Hurst, Dom Turner, Lucy DeSoto, Frank Sultana. In volume 2, Dave Tice, who's here tonight, Chris Turner, who's here as well, Continental Robert Zeus, Lockie Dolly, Darren Jack, Angry Anderson, Margaret Road Knight, and Jim Conway. Volume 3, there's Ron and Jeff King, patrons of our Sydney Blues Society, Shane Pacey, Harry Bruce, Ray Beadle, Mal Eastick, and then of course Volume 4, Clayton Dolly, Sally King, who's here tonight, and we're going to hear from Dave and Sally, but also Steve Edmonds, Alison Penny, Tony Cheney, who's here tonight, good to see you Tony, Bridie King, Roscoe Clark, good to see him here too, Roscoe, and Jess Redwing. And also there's an update from Frank Sultana, who won the International Blues Challenge this year in Memphis, and congratulations to Frank. But I want to welcome Pauline Bailey and her husband Dave to Sydney and to this night, and I want to call Pauline up here and for you to meet Pauline. Now they've done the long drive. I thought they were flying, but no. It's low flying. Good on you, Dave. And so they've made it from Victoria, actually the Gippsland region, all the way up here. Now, I should angle this a bit better, Pauline. Good. Now, it's quite inspiring, and it's quite a substantial work that you've done, Pauline. And as I said, a lot of people go unrecognised and things like that. Look, selfishly, in radio, and James Denning would know this from his own radio experiences, it's always handy to look up somebody's bio before you interview them. And for a lot of the people in the blues and blues scene, their story's never been told until your book. And that. But look, I want to ask you a few things. What inspired you to begin with the book?
I guess it started with a friend of mine in Melbourne, Kim Volkman. We became friends, and I worked with him on his autobiography.
Yeah.
And he had a great story to tell, and I thought there's got to be other people interested in telling their stories. And it was basically just went from there. I asked 3 or 4 people, and it just snowballed. Right,
and that's what led to the first volume coming out.
Yep.
Wow, and that
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, now how do you set up your interviews? Like, you're getting people from all around Australia. Like I've just read out the Sydney people, but you've been getting Perth and of course the Melbourne and Victorian people and that. But how do you go about setting up your interviews?
I've contacted quite a few through Facebook, and that's been really good. As bad as Facebook can be, it can be good for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you got onto a lot of people that way.
Right.
And was just bold enough to ask.
Yeah.
And nobody said no.
Oh,
There were
right.
a couple along the way that didn't want to be involved, but
Yeah.
99% of people said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite like as I said, over 100 odd people now have contributed to it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Blows
things.
my mind thinking
It
about it.
is,
I never
yeah.
expected to do 4.
What I like about the